Jimmy. Now, a small village between Bradford and Leeds is hoping to become the test case for localism and indeed people power. They've invoked a 40-year-old law to demand a referendum over a controversial new housing plan.
Yes, despite official predictions that Yorkshire is going to be short of tens of thousands of homes in years to come, residents of Menston say they don't want hundreds of new houses in their village. The voting's underway now, and our local government correspondent Danny Hewson is there. Danny, looks like a fairly busy turnout.
Yes, Phil, there has been a steady stream of people coming since the vote started at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's running till 9. And let me tell you, at one point today, the queue actually went all the way down the block. People here see it's really brought the village together. As you say, they view it as the first test case of the government's localism bill, and they've invoked a bill which is nearly 40 years old to allow them to hold this referendum. The referendum is being paid for by taxpayers' money, and actually, when it's finally finished, Bradford Council doesn't have to pay any attention to it at all, because the localism bill, well, it is still going through Parliament. The referendum, which is ongoing at the moment, is all about building hundreds of homes on green fields not too far away from me. Heidi Tomlinson has spent the afternoon finding out the ins and outs of this planning row.
Spending a sunny afternoon queuing to vote. But this isn't a sudden interest in politics. It's local people taking part in a referendum organised by a campaign group to stop a proposed housing development. Well, this is one of the highest points in Menston. It's a perfect countryside view overlooking the village, and it's farmland. You can see the lambs in the green fields, the beautiful spring sunshine, and this is the way that many villagers say it should stay. Menston is popular for its rural location and proximity to both Leeds and Bradford. The boundary between the two authorities cuts through the village. To the south is Leeds, the north Bradford. There's already a 600-home development on the former Hyroids hospital site. That's within the Leeds boundary. Across the road in the Bradford area are two further proposals to build over 300 new houses. Locals feel there are already too many new properties.
Hyroids is a development that's been going on for about 4 years now. We're now in phase 2, and we believe that to be the final phase. 600 houses. Most of half of phase 1 still remain empty.
But if the houses are built, Bradford Council would benefit financially through the government's New Homes bonus.
The new initiative applies to new build and to empty houses as well. Indeed, any properties that are brought back into use as well as new build would mean that the council will be able to have matched funding from the government as an incentive towards bringing forward developments. In addition to that, there will be a £350 bonus, if you like, for empty properties brought back into use.
Campaigners feel the council hasn't listened to concerns.
The trains, because already they're jam-packed at peak times. There's it's standing room only. It's just like being on London Underground, to be honest. And the driving, as you can hear, there's constant traffic at the moment. It'll be far worse with another 300, 350 houses.
Today's referendum isn't legally binding. It can't hold any weight in the planning department. But it's a show of local democracy, and it's hoped the results will send out a clear message. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North, Menston.
Well, I am joined now by Graham Booth, who's spokesperson for the campaign. Graham, at the end of the day, it doesn't have any legal weight at all. Isn't this just a waste of taxpayers' money?
No, not at all. It could be perceived by that, but really this is a chance for the villagers to actually have a political voice. We need to explain to the powers that be, particularly at the planning authorities, that with new legislation coming, we have the right now to hold on to self-determination. We've been told as a community that we can choose what developments we get, and we can be architects of what our village and community will look like in the future. We have pride in this village, and we want to keep it the way we want to keep it, and we have that right.
It's a lovely village. People would like to live here. Shouldn't they be able to move here? Shouldn't we have more homes here? We do need them.
Absolutely. In fact, we've got 600 houses just being built on the Hyroid side of Menston village. If people did want to live here in the droves, all those houses would have sold now, and they've yet to sell the first houses on phase 1. I think the situation is we've had constant building and constant houses in the village, which has essentially got 3 churches, 3 pubs, a co-op and a corner shop. And we haven't got the infrastructure to support any more cars. The roads are very narrow, often single track in places.
Now, if they were to build new homes here, Bradford Council would be able to access millions of new homes bonus money, which of course it needs during this economic downturn. How can you say that they shouldn't have that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm a Bradford lad myself, and I'd love to see Bradford get back on its feet. And I know that the city centre and surroundings are struggling, but actually research shows that if you build properties in the rural areas, you actually delay the economic growth of your cities and city centres. I think Bradford really should be looking at developing the city centre and areas so that we've got the employment again and Bradford's back on the up. Building houses in Menston are not going to answer that need.
Well, the referendum will run until 9 o'clock tonight. When the decision finally comes out, well, we'll just have to see whether or not it will carry any weight with this planning row.
Thank you, Danny. Very unusual, that idea, isn't it?
Really? I've
Yeah.
never heard of that before.
No, I haven't either. Now then, before